this whole argument, though, that I'm sort of presenting here in this episode of this podcast is tied back to another sort of more philosophical point of mine about how there isn't really such thing as good and bad. Like, can we talk about that? Like, I don't believe that morality is something that's capable of being objective. Because, and that's what I really think, like, that's what nihilism means to me, is that you reject the notion that morality can be objective at all, ever. And so, that's just, like, because think about it. You can say, oh, killing is wrong. Everyone thinks that. But then you think, like, oh, wait. People have killed people. Like, that's not objective. That's not something that everyone agrees with. If it was objective, then every single person would think that. But, and that's kind of why I think things are, like, more things fall into the category of subjective and, like, opinion-based than we are trained to believe, than the common person believes. Way more things. In a way, like, this is kind of like a big statement to make, but sometimes I do really subscribe to this. Reality almost isn't capable of being objective. But that's sort of, I need to sort of interrogate that point more. But that's my issue when I read shit like Mao, and he talks about how, like, or, like, there's this, yeah, he quoted Lenin in On Practice about, like, oh, only once the person has interpreted reality through perceptive and then conceptual knowledge or whatever, along with all of the, like, something about, like, they use the word objective, and they use the words, like, sound, and I think the audio just messed up, but I could be wrong. They use words like soundness, you know? And it just makes me think, like, okay, but notions about what's objective and scientifically sound are also socioculturally contingent. Like, and I don't understand. I honestly don't understand. Because here's this one point as well about post-structuralism. I don't understand why post-structuralism isn't viewed as fucking extremely vital to the American left. I honestly don't. Because we live in an authoritarian as fuck society. We literally have more people in prison than fucking Stalin did in the gulags. Like, it... We live in hell. And the post-structuralists came out of, like, after the Nazi era. Like, trying to figure out how to stop sort of totalitarian, fascist, strong state ideologies. And, that's what we need right now. Because the whole, like, democratic socialism thing ain't working out anymore. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not. Like, because if you wanted to make those arguments and try to, like, somebody like Bernie Sanders and try to, like, start moving things in the direction that we sort of consider better, moving things more leftward, even though some people think that would just stop the leftward movement in its tracks, and some people think that we would be able to build more on it after it was already accomplished, where I don't really know where I am on that one. I'm kind of in between the two positions, to be honest, but where was I going with that? Oh yeah, if you wanted to make, like, elect somebody like Bernie Sanders, you would want to make arguments about how, like, and do that whole democratic socialism thing. You would want to make arguments to people about how, like, big a government isn't always bad, because technically, like, universal healthcare coverage and universal education coverage all the way through higher education, college, and student loan forgiveness and stuff like that is quote unquote big government, especially to conservatives. That's what they think of as big government. But of course, then when you bloat the fucking military budget and you bloat the police budgets, they don't bat an eye. They don't think that that's big government. It's only when it's cutting into their fucking profit margins do they think that it's big government. But yeah, that kind of big government that cuts into the profit margins of the powerful is good. That's a good thing. And those are the arguments you'd want to make. But now we shouldn't make those fucking arguments. Like, we should just be like, we should be anarchists. We should be anarcho-communist post-structuralists today. That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking is based, because we live in a society with a strong, bloated, punitive state. And the post-structuralists had amazing critiques of big, bloated, neo-fascist states. Just putting that out there. But, you know, a lot of people of a lot of different ideologies are sort of trained to not care about America or Americans. And I think that that's kind of bullshit, to be honest, because Americans are struggling more than they have been in a long time. And you see it, the evidence is fucking everywhere. Trump is part of the evidence of that. Trump wouldn't have gotten elected if we didn't have a whole lot of poor ass white people to get roped into his demagoguery and scapegoating of minority communities, refugees, and immigrants. And that neo-fascist ideology that pops up whenever capitalism's failures are the most blatant, along with communism and socialism, of course. But yeah, I'm really hoping that the people who listen to this episode really enjoy it, because I'm sort of going hard. I'm going off Queen on theoretical topics. But yeah, this is really where it comes out of, like, oh, she is a communist. Yes, I am a communist. We should never have let those people down. We should never have let those people fall into the conditions that they fell into so that they could fall into the hands of a neo-fascist like Trump. We should have taken care of their material needs, and we should also, of course, take care of the material needs of not just the fucking white working class, the working class, and I keep making this point. I don't understand why I have to keep making this point. Is intersectional. Is black and brown and immigrants and refugees, especially doing the hard fucking manual labor, and is gay, and is trans, and is all variety of LGBTQ+. Those are the people who flip your burgers. Those are the people who just want to fucking eat. Those are the people who are trying to feed their children and trying to fucking pay off their student loan debts. And trying to save up enough money so they can fucking get student loans. And save up money to go to college and get apartments and things. Just asking you, please just pay us a little bit more money. But then people will say, oh, unskilled labor. Oh, you're one of the bad ones. See, it's the pointing the finger of you're bad. It's the proletariat is bad ideology. This all comes full fucking circle. Um, but yeah, people think that working class is like a synonym for white, straight, cis men. And that's obviously not the fucking case. Especially in a country like America, where we have, like, you know, increasing minority populations. But, oh, God. Oh, God. Maybe this episode will be, like, a little bit shorter than the others, so then I can upload it. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I'll go for about, like, 8 more minutes, and then call it a day. Call it a night, etc., etc., and so on and so on.